Hello, everybody, and welcome. It is your host, Patricia from The Dialogue. I want to thank everyone that has remained faithful to listen to the podcast as I went on my hiatus for a little while. Let me tell you, there is so much information that I need to share with you just about life, success, failure, friends, people, circumstances, situations, peace, forgiveness, the list goes on and on. So, as I have been doing like a video log vlogging of my life, there is something that just kind of pricked my spirit today. So many of us have these wonderful ideas and concepts and visions that we want to pursue and we want to come to pass in our life. And so many of you have been trying for years. I myself have been trying for years to pretty much do the same thing. Do not get me wrong. I have evolved. I have progressed. I have developed and I have changed. But I wanted to get on today. And as you can see from the title of the video, some of you are wondering and questioning why you are not successful at what you're doing. And I'm just going to keep it as precise and clear as possible. It is your connections. It is the people that you are allowing in your life. It is the people that you have an immediate circle with that do not see the vision that you have. They don't understand the vision that you have. When you talk about it to them, it is a lot of discouragement. It is a lot of doubt. And what it does is that it depreciates the value that you put on the thing that you have to share and give to the world. You're not successful at this point because the people that you are around don't see you as successful. And this is why I want to segue into the importance of failure. I was listening to an ESPN anchor today, and I was listening to her interview on The Breakfast Club. This was a long time ago, I think like a year ago. And she was talking about how ESPN was just it for her. A lot of people said, oh, if you make it to ESPN, then you're good. And her and Jamel Hill, they actually talked about how, Jamel Hill went through that situation where she made a comment about Trump and it actually got her fired or let go from her job. And this woman, I love her last name, which is Carrie Champion. I just love her last name, period. And I love how The Breakfast Club, when they did the interview with her, they did a full hour and 15 minutes, and it was phenomenal. I mean, I was in tune the whole time because she was that interesting and captivating in regards to the content that she talked about. But she explained how she was on ESPN, and they were either going to let her do an interview with The Rock or they were not going to let her do an interview with The Rock. And she said that if they didn't allow her to do the show with him, that would be her clue and or sign that it was time for her to go a different direction. And so she talked about how she contacted different friends and different people that she had. She didn't say it was many. But what I like about what she did was that the people that she contacted told her, oh, go ahead and do it. Leave. You're going to be fine. But she also talked about how she didn't have like a for sure plan. She didn't have anything etched out. It wasn't that she knew exactly what she was going to do, but she knew she was going to leave. And then she talked to Charlemagne. She just basically explained how when she contacted him, he said, if you think this is the best thing for you to do, to go ahead and do it. And with that, she said, well, at the time, that wasn't what I needed. I needed to hear, go, jump, do it. You're going to be good. You're going to be cool. Everything going to be fine. She said she didn't get that from him. And so what ended up happening was that she did it anyway. But I kid you not, connections, relationships are so important when you are on a journey to conquer territory, try something new, start a business, or execute your vision. When you have people around you that don't see how you see the things that you see or see at all, if you are not a strong-minded person, trust and believe it will affect you. I have been doing content about the mind, the peace of the mind, the need to have peace of mind, as well as forgiveness, which can also give you peace of mind. But it was more on the cusp that minds are contagious. And I said, you ever notice how you get around people and you don't notice it, but you might start eating the same or drinking the same drinks or dressing the same. It's not intentional. It just ends up happening. And I said that to say because sometimes when you be around people, what they think, how they feel, how they act or perceive life, it will spill over into your cup. The bad part about it is if your cup is empty and it's spilling over into your cup, it is filling your cup up with what you don't need in order to do what you're supposed to be doing. So I myself have been in a extremely challenging and adverse time of transition. And it has landed me to the point where I am by myself. Not a bad thing. But most people look at being alone as a bad thing. It is not. You can also look at it alone, but not alone, I guess. Because sometimes you're not alone. Sometimes you're going through the transition of coming out. And it is very hard at times when you're around people and they don't have a vision for their future. They don't have a vision for their dating life or their career or how they want to raise their children or where they want to see themselves in 6 months from now. But you have this burning vision inside of you, which is going to land you to making millions of dollars or helping millions of people or speaking up about a subject that is controversial, but you don't have the backing and or support from the people that are around you. I am here to tell you that sometimes no support is better than wrong support. Because you can get in there and tough it out yourself. You can give yourself the encouragement that you need. You can tell yourself, hey, I could do this. You can have a hard day and go for a walk or eat a bowl of ice cream or just chill out or journal and you'll be fine. But let you call the wrong person and talk about what you're going through. It can be the difference between life and death, between what you're supposed to do, and sometimes you won't even end up doing it because of who you talk to. It is called influence. And sometimes, even though we say we want to be around positive people, I love being around people filled with faith. Sometimes people just don't have the faith to fuel you for what you're going to do. And so you end up being in it alone. And a lot of people are scared of being alone because you have to sit with yourself. You have to deal with yourself. But it is better than being around people who feed you their narrative or paint a picture of your life or how they see you. Your connections are your problem. Your connections are why you're not successful. Your connections are why you have not started the book, why you have not started the support group, why you have not launched out with this new business, why you have not moved to a new city, why you have not believed in yourself. It is what you are connected to. And I love this interview so much with Chapman because she said that we are in a time where people are the influence as far as social media, it is so full of what you want to say, fakery. A lot of what you're seeing is not true. She said, if I see another person buy another car, or another house or jewelry, she said, I'm just over it. And just because you could purchase those things because you have money doesn't necessarily mean that you're in a happy, peaceful, tranquil place. It doesn't mean that you're living out your fullness, authenticity. It doesn't mean that you're living out your dream. I love how in mainstream media right now, we are seeing so many people change their lifestyle, which is ultimately making them change their connection with people. And trust me, this podcast is going to be fueled because it was a couple things that I wanted to talk about, but it could have ended up into a couple episodes. I'm just going to combine it all together. You see people talking about God. I mean, just coming out just Pretty V. She talked about God, that God is not a hobby. He's a lifestyle. Black China is changing her life. But in some of those situations, you see that they have had to sever some connections. Black China has had to sever her connection with her mother, which can be very traumatizing. I mean, I'm in the same boat as her. I've also had to sever my connection with my mother in order to thrive, have positivity, believe in myself. And I'm going to definitely do another podcast show about that because I see so many women plagued with the same thing that I've been through. And it's very hard for some people to understand how can you go through so much adversity with your mother. But we'll say that for another day. And so As you can see now, Black China, she has taken fillers out of her face and out of her body. She is concerned about longevity with her and her children and her life. She's concerned about her relationship with God. She's traveling an hour away. I think she said an hour and 30 minutes away, an hour and 30 minutes back just to go to church. She got baptized. And you seeing all of that. It was fine when she was doing the bad things that she was doing. And don't get me wrong, because everybody goes through a transition, it takes time. There still might be things that she may be dibbling and dabbling into, but you can see the progress that she wants to live a good lifestyle dedicated to Jesus Christ. And I find it that when you're failing, when you're not pursuing your dreams, when you're sitting around idle, when you're not holding yourself accountable, when you're not working out like you know you should be, when you're not drinking water, when you're eating a lot of fast food, you connect with people that are doing the same thing. And because it's their lifestyle, but they're not willing to change, they don't necessarily look at it that it is negative. But you're connected to that person. You talk to each other all the time. You spend time with each other all the time. And ultimately in that, there's nothing coming to fruition in your life. No manifestation, no change, no progress. And there comes a time where you sever connections with people because you can see that was my last season. That was who I was. We are not going the same direction. We're not thinking the same. We're not even doing the same thing. And it's amazing to me because that just kind of took place. I kid you not, I woke up, I was talking to a couple of people, and then just boom, overnight, it was like it just dissipated. And I want to say it was quick, but it really wasn't quick because over the year, I have been working on myself. There was a lot of things that I was doing that I wasn't necessarily making people aware of. I was just letting them think that I was failing or that I was doing these business ventures and then they were just coming to nothing. And it made it easier for them to walk away because in their head, they're like, okay, she's not doing anything. Nothing she's doing is working. They looked at me like a failure, like, why would I want to be around her? But most people don't understand. Before you get to a certain place in your life, you have to do the work internally first. You have to, it's like you have to be so hard on yourself. You have to do that evaluation, that you have to be critical of yourself, your decisions, who you're with, what you're around, what you're thinking. And then ultimately you will start to see like me and this person, we don't connect. We're not going the same direction. Let me tell you why failure is a beautiful thing. Now I said it's because your connections that you're failing, but let me tell you why failure is a good thing. For me, I know a lot of times I will set out on something like I can get an idea for something quickly and it will be someone there with me that I would love to work with. Problem being is that we'll start it together and it'll just drop off within a week, 2 weeks from the time that we started it, it'll just drop off. And then what happens is that my interest has changed. Maybe that was something that they wanted to do and I wanted to come up behind them to support them because a lot of people do need support. I don't look at myself as someone that actually needs a lot of support. I mean, in certain areas, everybody needs support in certain areas. And there are people that are delegated around me to support me in those certain type of areas. But when it comes to certain things, you're just going to be solo. You're just going to be alone for a little while. And as you change and evolve and migrate into this other person, they are sitting back like she's not doing nothing. You know, they're working a normal 9 to 5. You're trying to strategize for business. They're watching TV. You're trying to write a book. They are going out to eat. You're sitting in, you're cooking in, or you're fasting, or you're praying and not eating at all. You're strategizing. And when you come to the point where you're like low key, you're quiet about it, people think that's failure. And trust and believe, you also feel like it's failure too, because the world is like do, go. But the thing is, sometimes the blessing is in the slowing down. The blessing is in being still, because you can get your path clear. And as your path is becoming clear, those people that are in it for the instant gratification, the quick move, they end up falling off. So failure is a good thing because when they think you fall, they fall off. And so what happens is as they're falling off and they're talking about you and wasting all their money or whatever they're doing, you're investing in yourself. You're sitting back, you're quiet, you're processing, and they fall off. And so, yes, it was your connections that were making you fail, because people sometimes don't like a boisterous, bold person. People personify that at times when you're around them. Like, oh, she's just so cool. She takes up for herself. But oftentimes, a lot of people, they don't like that. They don't like it because it challenges them to do the same thing for themselves. And that's what ultimately, when you do change and evolve, that's what happens. You challenge other people to do the same thing. And when they don't want to do it, they like when you start failing or things don't start working out, or it seems as though you're going to lose things that you've acquired, or that you're not going to go the extra mile to be a better version of yourself. People actually like that. It's what we know as misery loves company. And so you go through it for a little bit. It's dark. Nothing makes sense. Everything looks like it's falling apart. You're trying jobs. You're trying different environments. Trust me, I just did this. I was applying for job after job after job after job after job. Like, okay. But then when I came to the realization, like, they're all doing the same thing. And I don't support that mantra. I don't support that. It pushed me out into the deep. And when you're out in the deep, it looks like you're drowning. It looks like nothing's working out. It looks like you're a failure. But in your heart, you know you're not failing. You just know you're one step away from getting on the right path to doing exactly what you always wanted to do. I consider it like pieces to the puzzle. And I'll be having a book coming out about that soon. Actually, it is the second book to the first books to come, which you guys can purchase on Amazon. It's a really good read, and it pulls you through a lot of these things. I mean, this young woman, she was plagued with a lot in her life. She had to let go of connections of people, places, and things to try something new. Boom. I'm at that place right now. Letting people, places, and things go to evolve into the better version of myself. I'm becoming something. I'm not ashamed of where I am as I'm becoming. If I would stop becoming, then I would be ashamed. But your connections are the reason why you're failing. It is so imperative that you watch people, that inspire you the direction that you want to go, that you get in environments that fuel your inspiration. It is critical that you, if you're going to get a mentor or somebody to help you, it is critical that you do it in the aspect of the trajectory of the way that you want to go, not the way that you came from. So I think that is so important that we don't hold people so closely that we think that they'll never be around. Because what if it's that you have to let certain people go so that you can become? And that's a whole nother conversation in itself. So today I just wanted to get on and just tell you your connections are the reasons why you're failing. You have to not only evaluate yourself, you have to evaluate, why am I connected to this person and what do they want from me? Why are they connected to me? Because when you come to a place when you want so much more, that's when it starts. I could see myself doing more for my life. I could see myself living in a better neighborhood. I could see myself traveling and being inspired to live a life that I never thought I could. Watch how people respond when you talk to them about that. If you decide to talk to them about them, some of you already know. I talked to someone actually a couple days ago, and they said it. Like, I've seen this for years, but because of my heart and how I am, I decided to allow this person to stay around when I should have been cut them off. And then they gave me a nugget of beautiful wisdom and said, some people are in your life for seasons. I think that's the tricky part, knowing and understanding when the season is over, because some people just want to stay around. Some people just want to stay around to latch on your leg because they're really predators, or they're preying on you, which is a predator, or they're leeches. And so if you don't let them go, they suck the life out of you. And you don't have enough oomph to get up, to work out, to cook healthy meals, to go to the park, to get in nature, to spend time with God, to pray, to read, to actually fuel yourself so you can do your purpose. So Your connections are the reason why you're failing. So it is my prayer today that you will sever the unnecessary weight that is holding you down so that you can soar and fly into this next level of who you were ultimately destined to become. A lot of people don't see your destiny. A lot of people don't see who you're meant to become. They just go on the path with you as you're evolving. But I want you all guys to stay tuned. Thank you so much for tuning into the dialogue. We're going to transition and segue into a new way of doing things. I'm going to be talking about the simple life. I'm going to be talking about how you can live a simple life, accomplishing your dreams and your goals. What can help you accomplish your dreams and your goals if you're into business? I have many backstories that have helped me come to the place that I'm at right now. Going through homelessness, for transiency homelessness. I was almost sex trafficked, molested as a child. Don't have a connection with my family. Many different jobs, many different opportunities, school. So many things have happened to me, and it has brought me to the point of peace to want to live and desire a simple life. So that's also going to be upcoming on the podcast. I'm going to go ahead and let you guys into my world a little bit more, because now I feel a little bit more at ease and peace about the things that have happened to me and what I've overcome. And so we'll be sharing that more. So you definitely want to stay tuned. Don't forget to subscribe or follow the podcast. You can like it. You can share it with someone. Our mantra on the dialogue is that we are healing souls one conversation at a time. So if you notice someone needs this, if you've been telling someone for years, you need to cut that person off. Maybe they won't listen to you. Maybe they'll listen to a perfect stranger because they think that you're judging them. And so you can go ahead and pass this content along to them. Thank you so much for tuning in. We are going to be going live more often, giving you more feedback, giving you more insight into how you can live the simple life. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. I hope you have a wonderful day. Do something for yourself. It's a blessing when you do something for someone else too. And we will be back with more content later.